So I did my best to convince these guys to drag them out of their beds to come for this production, because especially the one in jacket, he refused to come because he had been so much fun for Christmas. He had so much chicken. In fact, he wanted to chicken out of this conversation, but no way. I dragged him here. Cerebron makes a return on the show. How are you doing, man?
I'm fine. I'm fine.
Bruv, man, all the chicken has suffered. Look at you, smile. People in the house can testify to the fact that you had a swell time. How was Christmas for you?
Christmas was great. That's the best thing about Christmas, you know. Eating a lot, drinking a lot of non-alcoholic drinks.
Absolutely, I agree. I was going to point that out. But making a return to the show is a man who chose to come on a Christmas weekend. I don't have any gifts for him, by the way. Just so if you think that's why you are here, I would be giving you gifts. No. Midday Josh makes a return. How are you, my man?
I'm good. It's good to be back here.
Yeah. Is it the chicken? I mean, when I knew this guy, his voice was very clean, crisp, and proper. And now it's good. It's good to be back.
It's the Christmas season, so
okay.
Chicken up and then for the gifts, maybe after the show.
Or maybe, just maybe. But one gift that we have for all of you is that we promised earlier to bring to you a review of the year 2019. Guys, in 2019, what stood out for you for the Super Eagles? Maybe the AFCON, yes?
Yeah, definitely has to be AFCON. Definitely. I enjoyed the tournament. Okay. I didn't enjoy the defeats. The two defeats were very, very painful, especially the second one. But overall, I enjoyed the tournament. I enjoyed the bragging rights over South Africa.
Again,
that was a great night.
Yeah, it is indeed. It was indeed a great night. A nostalgic night because Nigeria and South Africa, every time they take to the football pitch, we eventually get to beat them.
We always beat them.
We always beat them. I mean, we know these things. We always beat them. But let's also talk about, well, Super Eagles Player of the Year. We have it highlighted. Let me start with you, Mide. Who do you think, what player stood out for you? It's been a year of Chukwueze slaloming through defense. It's been a year of Osimhen bringing his precision to the bear. It's been a year of Kalu from the right as well. Wilfred Ndidi. Super Eagles stars have really shown like a million stars 2019. But which player stood out for you?
For me, stood out even national team and also Europe club side. I'll go for Wilfred Ndidi.
Okay.
I mean, if we're talking about breakout player of the year, maybe I can go for Chukwueze or Osimhen. But for me, player of the year has to go for Ndidi. I mean, what he has done for Nigeria, for Leicester, where they are, I mean, it's remarkable. I mean, never did I think like someone would replace Kante, but Ndidi is doing a wonderful job at Leicester. So for me, player of the year, Wilfred Ndidi.
You agree with that? Super Eagles player of the year, Ndidi?
Oh, for me, it's not Ndidi.
Okay, tell me who.
It's Victor Osimhen.
Okay.
I don't know. Osimhen makes me very proud to be Nigerian. Really, he does. And I'll tell you why. During the year, in the course of the year, I've been in podcasts about French football. And every time Osimhen is mentioned, the French guys, the British guys, all of them, they talk about him. And there's this pride that comes to me because they rate him so highly. And, you know, it's something that reflects very well on me as a Nigerian. And overall, he has been very reliable. Charleroi, Lille, national team as well. I feel like if he had even played more games in the Nations Cup, he would have also, you know, delivered. Overall, he's had a great year. He scored a lot of goals. He's been carrying Lille. He carried Charleroi, won, you know, Player of the Year for them. And he's just overall been fantastic. And I just love the guy.
Yeah, so, yeah, big ups to the Super Eagles stars, Victor Osimhen, just like Cerebon said. Wilfred Ndidi, who for me is absolutely phenomenal. I mean, this 2019, his numbers are really absolutely ridiculous. Interceptions and tackles alike. Well, I also want to say a big shout out to Chukwueze. We hear that there's a likelihood that come 2020, he may just move to one of these other big clubs. But the movement for Super Falcons in 2019, maybe one step forward, maybe 10 steps backward. They were at the World Cup Cerebrum, and they didn't cover themselves in glory. They refused to fly.
I just had to sigh because it was a pretty disappointing performance. I mean, I remember being critical of the team, you know, during the World Cup because I was looking at their stats as the games were, you know, ongoing. And I was talking about the lack of process, the faulty process rather. The passing was just dire and all of that. And a lot of people were attacking me for it, saying, oh, they're trying, at least they're not losing 7-0. And I said, no, it's not about that.
Yeah.
Outcomes are good, you know, to look at, but you also have to look at process because that's what gives you sustainability. And their process was just all wrong. So there was no way, even if the outcomes weren't 5-0, they were just 2-0. It was more of being fortunate. There wasn't more, rather than their process working, because there really wasn't anything. I couldn't see any discernible, football, like any discernible plan or direction with the team, and it was just so sad to see, because I'm a huge Falcons person.
Especially when Falcons have won everything there is to win in the African continent. They are the record. In fact, they are the most successful football team in Africa, be it male or female football competition. Maybe you were not impressed as well with the Super Falcons this year.
I mean, just like Serban, I just have to say, because sometimes I'm like, we are almost like nearly there, but yet still far away. Like,
very.
Like, just like I said, we've conquered Africa. I mean, second to none. You get so, but just the next leap, the next step.
And that next step seems very far.
Seems very far. It seems like we're always, nearly. Just like I said, the process, the passing, you watch them against, I mean, I'm like, can you just put like string of passes together and at least, maybe not even score, but at least get to the final thought.
Be
get
impressive
to the box.
at least.
I'm like, what do we do again? So it's just a tale of, I mean, we've seen this before, do well in African scene, but just at the World Cup, it's just always lacking, and I really hope we can
get better going forward. Oh, well, interestingly, the coach, Thomas Dennerby, also went AWOL and then left his duty post, and then we had issues with that Super Falcons team. Remember, the coach that stood in had to strip the beautiful Desire Banoze out of our position and handed our captain band to Aziza Toshoala. Guess what? It didn't work. They crashed out for the Beijing Olympic, now making it back-to-back times. They've not been to the Olympics. I'll speak about the Super Falcons. So not a good 2019 for them. Hoping for a better 2020. Now to the Nigerian Professional Football League in 2019. Guys, yeah. Oh, God. Sometimes I'm a guy who really likes to celebrate my own, who really likes to say, hey, big ups to our own and all, but it looks as if we are still far away, even in this 2019. Yeah,
it's just a mess at this point. It's just a mess. I really, 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 really want to see the good. I want to see positives. I want to hang on to one positive, but it's just so hard because everything is just a mess.
Yeah.
It's like there's no direction. Yet again, we just keep seeing the same issues all the time, again and again and again, and it's just really sad to see.
Yeah.
And once again, this year was just that.
Yeah, it was same of the same. In fact, in this year, we saw a team that started the competition, pull out of the competition, only to sell its slot to another team.
And
say, what?
Sounds ridiculous, just saying it.
And say, what? Just come
Nigeria we steady break new grounds, like things I've never. I mean,
true.
I was
negatively.
Thank you. The last year I was on with where we're talking about Nigerian football. Should we see more people in national team? I'm like, if they are good enough, like improve the league first, and then it's not rocket science. You will see a massive offshoot in the number of talents that come through. Sure. You've seen it with Spain, England. You see the league. It will just it's a ripple effect. It will.
Just to add to that, you can't have a healthy national team without a healthy league. It's almost impossible. You see, when England wanted to improve, they fixed their league. They made their league better. When Spain wanted to improve, it came from their league. When Italy were on top of the world,
it was from their league.
It's always, your league has to. And because that's what, remember when Juventus were strong, the Italian national team was strong because they had that.
The core.
When Madrid and Barcelona were on fire, the Spanish national team benefited. That's how it is. Always, when England had all those, big teams, Manchester United on fire, Chelsea, Arsenal, it reflected. It always reflects.
It always does. It's like a ripple effect, yeah? And then again, what you don't have, you cannot really give. In fact, that's a Latin maxim that says, nemo dat quod non habet. But unfortunately for Nigerian football, it can only get better. Fortunately for us, there's still time to improve on these things going forward in 2020. The big question will always be, will they improve? Will they want to improve? Will they choose to improve? Because it looks as if some people actually benefit from this particular route. Well, going forward now, let's fly on a plane to the international football. It was a Portugal year in 2019. It was a negative vibe for Argentina as well. This is because we're looking at these two guys, because, of course, Ronaldo and Messi. Portugal had the UEFA Nations League. They won it. Messi had a chance of winning the Copa America. But all in all, one of them also ended up winning Ballon d'Or. The other didn't win. Again, it's another top seat of the year. It's as if you just have to use, everybody has to have one thing. You can't have it all at the end of the day, right?
In a way, I feel that Portugal, they are at their most, or they are their healthiest in like maybe 10 years or something, because this team that they are building is very strong. Now they've won 2 international tournaments, and the Euros is next year. They are one of the favorites or one of the dark horses.
Although that group is...
Yeah, and it feels like Ronaldo doesn't want to go because he has suffered. He suffered with very, 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 average teams in his prime. Yeah. So now that he's not going, I think he's going to play till he's 40, just to be able to enjoy this generation. Then on Messi's side, well, I think that even though everything seems like doom and gloom from the Argentina point of view, I think that Argentina kind of looked better this year than they've done, in recent years. Like last year, we saw how they looked at the World Cup. It was just sad. But this time around, it feels like Lionel Scaloni, despite starting poorly, he started poorly. His ideas were horrible. Eventually, he kind of adapted, and the team is starting to look really strong. And they added my guy, Rodrigo de Paul. I love him. And things have just changed with the team. And I think for once, they are a little optimistic about what's coming. But overall, Messi, Ronaldo, they can't have it all, really.
Absolutely. But you're a Ronaldo fan, yeah?
Yeah, but I respect Messi.
Yeah,
I'm pro Ronaldo, but I respect Messi.
You? Messi, Ronaldo?
Messi fan, but like I said, I respect Ronaldo.
Ronaldo, okay. But you think it was... Did he deserve the Ballon d'Or, though?
Definitely.
You weren't going to say anything else.
I wasn't going to say anything else. I mean, that's why I asked him if I was a Messi Ronaldo fan, and then when he said, definitely. Okay.
Just like when Klopp was interviewed, like, should Van Dijk win? He was like, yeah, we were talking about best defender, best player for that season, but I mean, Messi won it, you can't complain, so in the end.
In the end, we can't complain. It's done and dusted. The next one will be done. The next award that will be happening will be in, the early awards will be in January. That's the African Cup of, that's CAF Awards. And already you think Sadio Mane, no-brainer.
No-brainer.
Of course.
It has to be Sadio. So everybody agrees Sadio Mane.
No-brainer.
So moving on. The best international team this year, jury's have it has to be Liverpool. Agree? Maybe. In the best international club side. This year, what do you think? Aside winning the Champions League,
they've been...
yes, I did that. I remember you said last week that Liverpool are the best cup team. And then they have Champions League as well. They're worried about. Let me start with you. You feel Liverpool, are they that good this season? I mean, I see your tweets sometimes, and I'm like, okay, you actually really rate this Liverpool side. You think they're unbeatable. But
I do, because like I said, club coming, it's been a process. So you can clearly see the gradual process Klopp took this team from when he came, to where they are now. Clearly building that spirit, the team he wants. Now, all the players, just like Maurice said, all the players Klopp has are the type of players he needs to play the way he wants to play. So those people are ready to die for him on the pitch. And you can see that they already have that winning spirit, the winning mentality. Just like I told you before the Man City game, it's like, they know they will never lose. So like, they are unbeaten since like forever at Anfield, and they've not lost. So I feel he has assembled this great bunch of players, and I think the sky is just the limit right now.
Well, so apparently Liverpool actually, they did lose in 2019. They lost to Aston Villa in Carabao Cup. Guys, nobody should tell me they lost on this under 21. I don't care. Bottom line, it wasn't Wiki Tories that played. It was Liverpool.
They also lost to Manchester City.
They also did. Yeah, they did lose to Manchester City.
They haven't lost in the league since then.
Yeah, but it's been a phenomenal run for them so far.
Oh, phenomenal. I think any kind of style that you want to come at them with, they have a way of adapting to it. They have the players with the skill sets to upset you, and that is what makes them so good. I think they've been the best club in the world this year. Second would be my club, Valencia.
Okay, another conversation for another day. Yeah, of course, you just have to chip that in. He's a huge, Valencia fan. I'll talk about Clinton. All right, so guys, we will continue this conversation right after this break. We'll talk about contact sports and the highs and the lows of Anthony Joshua. We'll be right back after this. Let's talk about contact sport now. He doesn't really like contact sports, talking about Clinton, but I'm sure you must have followed the issue of Anthony Joshua. Lost his belt to Ruiz, and then only for him to get it back in Saudi Arabia. Maybe not the best way to get it back, but
not the most exciting.
That's the word right there. Some people were expecting a fifth-round knockout just to punish, Ruiz and all.
Unfortunately, or fortunately, that is not how boxing works. I know I don't really follow a lot of that sport because I mean I don't like seeing people getting battered. But at the same time, I think that in boxing, just like in any other sport, there are tactics. You have to be smart. That's one thing that Mayweather does also. People expect Mayweather to come in and just start punching everybody. I feel like we are spoiled because we had Mike Tyson and those guys.
Yeah, we saw them.
Yeah,
knock
we
people
saw
out.
them.
Yeah.
2 seconds, 10 seconds, everywhere. I mean, but
2 seconds everywhere, boss.
you know,
Everything
you know how
no
they
boss.
say it. But you know, now you have more technicalities and things are more technical with the sport, and I think that's why the Anthony Joshua fight wasn't as explosive as people wanted it to be. Because I mean, you don't have to play to the gallery. That's one thing that those boxers know. Yes, the fans want to see some action, some excitement, but ultimately, what matters is that you win. And Anthony Joshua made sure that he did. And it was very interesting to see his look the first time when he had the nice trim. And when he came back for the second one, he looked very scruffy. He just wanted to
do the job.
Yeah,
do the job. Yeah. Mide Joshua, did that stand out for you? Anything else in boxing? Are you a fan of Wilder?
Yeah, I'm actually a fan of Wilder because for me, I see what's just I'll oppose what he said. Yeah, I mean, yeah, they don't want to play to the gallery. It's all about technique and all, but it's heavyweight. Mayweather is in a lesser category, so you can understand that jumping around the ring. Yeah. But we've seen heavyweight over time.
I like Tyson, that, jumping around the ring.
Tyson, Evander, the Frasers of this world. I mean, we want to see. I'm like Joshua. Like sometimes I see him as, although I know Fury is also British, but he has this British tone to his boxing. You know, the British are cool, calm. You see Wilder is American. I mean, he's a pound for pound boxer. Yeah. So. In the end, yeah, he's won. But I mean, just like people like us who want to see the brutal, the bronze and all, like. But it's been a good year. It's been a good year for Joshua.
This kind of reminds me of football. There are people that want to see entertaining football.
True.
There are some people that just want to win.
Results.
You know, I remember one particular tweet thread you did one time, close to like 10 thread about talking about what football means to you. Some people think it's trophy. Yeah. How do you define success in football and all? So I think everybody should just hold what
it's always
the old there in a way. I mean, so speaking about 2019, some people like Mide Joshua would think and hope that they would see an Anthony Joshua Wilder fight come 2021, you know, thereabout, and it will be very, very interesting to see. But there's a lot of things going to be happening in the world of boxing in 2020. Well, so congratulations again to South Africa at the Rugby World Cup in 2019. They went on to defeat England. They have carefully cemented a place for themselves in the annals of sport, of rugby, becoming the team to win a championship after losing a game in the pool stage. I remember they defeated England 32-12. The defending champion New Zealand, of course, have also won 3 championships, just like South Africa. So yes, South Africans, if I thought they can't do well in football, at least they are doing well in rugby. Yeah, so Super Eagles of Nigeria. Yes, I mean, the good thing is that I have a lot of South African friends, and I tell them every time, when it comes to football, we know who the master is. Yeah. When it comes to rugby, we'll meet them there in the future. Yeah, because they've been in that rugby business, you know, for a while. Let's, of course, finally drop the curtain here, and maybe we'll talk about 1 or 2 other things as well. Despite the unresolved issues in our local basketball issues, the management having issues as well, the basketball leadership still in 6s and in 7s, we also must give kudos to the showing of D Tigers and D Tigers in 2019. Mide, let me start with you. You've been impressed by what D Tigers. I mean, there's so much trouble in the basketball front, but you don't see it. You even don't think about it because the girls and the lads are doing quite well on the court, leaving it everything on the court for the Nigerian team.
I mean, it's actually remarkable. I mean, if you're someone who knows the story of who's in Nigeria, I mean, you definitely not see anything wrong with that.
Everything is
like,
fine.
Man, these people are perfect, the guys, the girls, and like, but definitely we in Nigeria, we know that it was just paper over the cracks, like just to know, because the house was in order. We just sent people out. Of course, they're professionals to do their job, and which they did well. But it's really nice how they handled the situation. But back home, we just hope that going forward, 2020, everything can be sorted out, and then to give these guys platform, the girls and the guys platform to, of course, go well and be successful. But for this year, I was clearly impressed with both of them.
Yeah, I was impressed with the 2019 performance of D Tigers and D Tigress. All right, so we get into that part where we will draw the curtain on what has been a fantastic review of the year 2019. So a couple of more things. One of such things with the fact that Roger Federer has a comfortable space in the history of Mint, and and sports. And this is because Roger Federer's face will be on a Swiss coin. It will be like part of the currency. And that's standards right there. Are you a fan of Roger Federer? Maybe not.
I respect him.
Whenever you say I respect somebody, I know that you're not a fan.
It comes out more of like sarcasm. Like he said that for me.
Yeah, and then he says a lot. Okay, you added a lot.
I'm heavily pro Nadal, so obviously I don't really support Federer when he plays because I don't want him to increase that gap.
Yeah.
But I have to admit he's aesthetically pleasing.
Yeah,
he's a great player. He's a legend, absolute legend.
Absolute legend. So yeah, and then that's legend status right there. You know, his face is gonna be on the coin. But meanwhile, for a man, his face is everywhere. Maybe the poster boy of British sports lately, Lewis Hamilton. So now we've heard of Sir Elton John, we've heard of Sir Mo Farah. David Beckham is being considered to be a star very soon. I think it's at about time we should be calling him Sir Lewis Hamilton. It won't be out of place.
Definitely, he'll probably be the next in line. I mean, some people are even touting him as the greatest
British sportsman.
You get, I mean, what the feat he has done in his career at this age is immense. I mean, to think that he's just one behind the great Schumacher tells a lot. I mean, and hopefully next year also he can equal that and then probably be the greatest Formula 1. But Hamilton has done well this season, even with Mercedes. So, compared to the fact that Ferrari also had improvement on their car. And in the beginning of the season, it was almost as though it was going to be a close call, even he and Bottas. But he's come out on top. And this has just shown that Hamilton has improved over the years and totally deserves all the credit he's getting.
Yeah, I think we missed out on the beach soccer. It was not a day in the good office.
Intense beating. But we really can't blame the players. I mean, they are working with so many constraints, and it's even a miracle that they were able to, go there and put in the effort that they did. And I have to commend them, really, I do, because it's not easy representing Nigeria in those tournaments, especially with no support or almost no support and all the issues that we constantly have. So I have to commend them for even showing up and, putting their hearts, because you knew that it meant a lot to them. So I respect them for that. And, bad year, but hopefully somehow something changes.
Yeah, some people are actually saying that they should scrap the sand Super Eagles, and meanwhile some people are saying, hey, there's still light at the end of this tunnel. So whenever I hear people say there's light at the end of the tunnel, I like to ask just one simple question: how long is this tunnel? Because sometimes some tunnels you may actually eventually die and you may not even see the light at the end of the day. But let's not hope that's the case of our Superstar Eagles. Guys, I want to thank you very much. We've seen the end of the year. This is the last episode of Hotsports in the year 2019. And we want to thank, it shows that it's a good feel, because the gentleman Clinton made his debut last week, and now he's making his debut, is making a return to the show back to back. So that tells you that whatever it is you want, your dreams, your aspirations are still even very much valid. So yeah, this takes us to the end of the show in 2019. Guys, I want to thank you very much for coming out today. Clinton.
Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure.
Absolutely. And Amide, Josh, it's been a roller coaster positively for 2019.
Yeah, thank you.
Before now, you were just right there on Twitter, and then now you are an analyst and in-house family member with Hotspot. That must be a good feeling in a way.
It's really a great feeling. 2019 has been good. Just like I said, I was always just behind my keypad, but now I'm getting to do what I want to do, what I love to do most, and it's really been a great year, and I thank you for having me also and the crew.
Absolutely, guys. So we want to thank you very much, especially the viewers. The show, any football show, any show in the world is nothing without the people who show support behind it, people who watch the show just like you guys. And we want to thank you, the fans from the northern part of Nigeria to the east, to the west, everywhere. We have come to the end of 2019. This is the last show of the year. It gives us great delight to know that you guys have been there. You stayed with us all through, and we want to thank you. So on behalf of all the production crew, my editors, my director, David, these guys don't like being mentioned, but today is a very special day. Sean Farmer, the cameraman, to Rookie, the voiceover lady, to the head boss in charge, Taye Ige, for, of course, giving us this platform to do this every Saturday. But most importantly, our biggest thanks goes to God and to you for letting us see a successful 2019. Guess what? 2020 will even be better. So yes, we will see you in 2020. And for now, I will say to you, Happy New Year. And thank you to all the analysts, Molat Sporgis, Dare, Kizuri, Fisayo, Momax Israel, Eyino Igbinige, Israel Bankole, Olaleye Idowu, men and women who have stayed in this studio with me, making productions after productions, whether they are sick, whether they are not, whether they are happy, whether they are sad, always coming through. It's a special Thanksgiving to everyone out there. We will see you again in 2020. For 2019, it is bye for now. My name is Babajide Guerrero. Take care of yourself, look after each other, and Happy New Year. Till then, take care of yourself. Bye for now.
Oh, lovely ball.